Imagine being locked in a cage your entire life, subject to experiments, or even being hunted for sport, without ever having the chance to speak up or even fight back. Sadly, this is the daily reality for billions of animals around the world. Animals should have the same basic rights as humans, such as the right to live free from exploitation, abuse, and unnecessary suffering, because they are living beings that are capable of feeling the same emotions as one. Their inability to voice their suffering doesn't mean they do not feel emotions. So, to understand why animal rights matter, let's first examine the challenges animals face in the human-dominant environments. Across the globe, animals are often exploited for food, clothing, entertainment, and experiments, and often enduring intense suffering with no legal protection. According to Animal Right 2019, force feeding causes internal injuries and organ failure in birds. Factory farms keeping animals in cramped and filthy conditions before slaughtering. Cosmetic companies still conduct painful tests on lab animals' eyes and skin. And there's even circus animals that are beaten in chains for their so-called training. As stated by the ASPCA, Lizarari 2005, billions of animals in the US alone are killed or abused in each year in ways that would be illegal if done to a human being. Unfortunately, it even explains that current animal welfare laws offer only limited protection and often exclude farm and lab animals altogether. This overlook for animal welfare doesn't just affect animals, but it reflects and shapes the moral reach of our society, because a society that tolerates cruelty to animals desensitizes people to suffering, makes it even easier to ignore injustices in other forms. Now, with that being understood, we're going to talk about what can be done to give animals more rights. To address these injustices, animals should be guaranteed basic legal rights, such as the right to live and be free from torture and not to be treated as a test subject by a cosmetic company or even a entertainment, such as circus animals and all these animals that are in the zoo as well. These rights would mean to end harmful companies and outlawing animal testing and treating animals as individuals in the eyes of the law. Just as human rights would protect individuals from discrimination and abuse, animal rights would protect those beings who are vulnerable and voiceless. Countries like India have already recognized animal and nature as legal persons with rights. As discussed in Animal Rights 2022, legal farm work are already slowly evolving towards recognizing animal rights with moral and legal standings. Now, a common objection is that animals aren't humans, they don't think or reason like we do. Well, the thing is that rights aren't based on intelligence, but on the extent to suffer. If that were the case, infants and individuals with disabilities or even elderlies would be excluded from legal protection. Now, let's imagine the world we could live in if we take this seriously. According to Lizarari 2005, benefits of solving this would be inhumane treatment of animals would link to lower violence in communities. But if not solved, this would contribute to environmental damage and human health risks, like the factory farm antibiotic resistant. So what can you do to help create this change? one would be to support legislations that grants animal basic legal rights, or support organizations like the Animal Legal Defense Fund and the ASPCA. Another is avoid products that test on animal rights, such as cosmetic products and as well as wigs. Now let's wrap this up with a final thought. Animals, like humans, are living beings capable of feeling pain and joy. They may not speak our language, but they are deserving of basic rights and protection from cruelty and exploitation and harm. So the next time you see an animal on the street, or even in a lab, behind a glass, remember that while their voice may be silent, but their pain is loud. If we have the power to protect, then we have the ability to act upon it. Thank you for your time.